Hi, Nicole.
Hi, V.
Thank you for inviting me today to learn some tips and tricks out of the Gratitude Journal and Mindful Resources book.
Thanks for coming. I'm glad you're here. So today we are going to do a quick 30-second seated meditation. And so seated meditation is one form of a mindful practice, and all mindful practices have benefits. The seated meditation is kind of like the superfood. You get most benefit when you're able to do it. It's also typically the most challenging for people. And a good starting point for meditation is often a guided meditation. It's also important to learn how to just sit with yourself and focus on breath. And so that's what we're going to move into today. Are you ready to join me?
I guess so.
Okay, so we're going to start with grounding and centering. And so we'll ground and center, we'll move into the practice. I like to have my phone with me as a timer. It's great to set a timer and I recommend it. And so if you can get to 12 minutes, that's where research shows that the structure is changing in the brain. And we need to start somewhere. So if we've never done this before, starting at 12 minutes would be like trying to climb a mountain if you've never climbed. So we want to start with really digestible bites. So today we're going to start with 30 seconds. So let's ground and center. I'll set the timer and then we'll sit. Okay. So when we sit, what we're going to do is we're going to be still, and I'll guide us through to this point. We're going to be still in our physical bodies. We're going to be focused either with our eyes closed or on a focal point, and we're going to be aware of our natural breath. And so we move into this and all mindful practices, just knowing thoughts are going to come. So we're going to think. When the thoughts come, we observe the thoughts. We try to do the observation without judgment. We let the thought go, and then we bring our focus back to breath and back to body. Okay?
Okay.
You ready to give it a shot?
Sure.
Okay, here we go. So let's uncross arms and legs and hands in a position of comfort. So we're still in our physical bodies. And as we're becoming still in our physical body, we're drawing awareness to natural breath. And as we draw awareness to natural breath, I invite you to close the eyes and focus in between the eyebrows, that brow point. And if you prefer to have your eyes open, I like to start by closing my eyes and then open them just enough to see something on the ground in front of you. Pick something that's not moving that you can focus on. And just know that if you have your eyes open, likely your gaze is going to wander away, just like thoughts are going to come in. So be kind and gentle with yourself when that happens. Expect that it will. And then bring your focus back to your focal point and back to breath and back to body. So let's find our natural breath. Let's exhale all the air out of the lungs. Squeeze that last little bit of air out with the low belly. We'll take a big deep breath in through the nose. Taking the breath all the way into the low belly, feeling it rise, and exhale through the mouth. 2 more and we'll start the timer. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. 1 more big deep breath in through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. So the invitation is to maintain stillness in your body. Maintain focus on your breath and your focal point, and we'll start our 30-second timer. When the 30 seconds are up, you'll hear a chime. So as you're ready, I invite you to open your eyes if you've closed them. Lift your gaze and bring yourself back into the space and back into the room.
That was a really long 30 seconds, Nicole.
That felt long to you?
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting, and that's why we want to start with 30 seconds. So as the research shows, when we get to 12 minutes, that's really helpful. But if you've never done this and you say, oh, I'm going to sit for 12 minutes, you're probably going to get frustrated. So the hope is that you take small bite-sized pieces. And so some people might force themselves into, well, I'm going to sit for the 12 minutes then, but I can't focus the whole time. My mind is somewhere somewhere else. So the research shows that it's more effective to sit like we just did for 30 seconds, 20 seconds if this feels too much, for several times a day. Let's starting point, make specific goals. 5 times a day, I'm gonna sit for 30 seconds. You're gonna get more benefit out of that than trying to sit for 10 minutes and just be distracted the whole time. And so then what happens also, just like any kind of work, we're essentially exercising our brain, we're building that gray matter. And as we practice, just like any exercise, it doesn't become easier, we become stronger. So what seemed really difficult to sit for 30 seconds is in time with practice gonna feel like, oh, that was just really quick, you know? But also it can go to one day I can sit for 20 minutes and it feels like 5. And then the next day I might sit for 5 minutes and it feels like 20. So just, it's gonna depend on where you're at in your life as well.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me. And I hope that you make this a part of your daily practice.
I probably should.
We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye.